So let's jump straight into it. The discussion centers around Joe Rogan's allegation that the Trump administration is trying to gaslight people regarding the Epstein files, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's pretty striking when you consider that the refusal to release more info about Jeffrey Epstein has been framed by Rogan as a bold line in the sand.
Yeah, and what really stirs the pot is how Epstein's name was dropped like over 40 times in his podcast episode. That's a significant detail.
Indeed. It really emphasizes the seriousness of the issue, doesn't it? I mean, repeatedly mentioning Epstein, it forces us to ask, what's really being hidden here?
Exactly. It's like when someone uses a megaphone to call attention to everything surrounding a scandal, you can't just brush it off as routine political maneuvering.
Right. And there's that element of alleged gaslighting too. The term suggests that the administration might be deliberately distorting the narrative to manipulate public perception.
Yeah, and I think Rogan's choice of language is key. Gaslighting implies a systematic effort to confuse or mislead, which is a very charged accusation, especially in the realm of political accountability.
Exactly. But here's a thought. Don't you think that some might argue that the administration's reticence could be more about legal caution rather than intentional gaslighting?
Sure, I get that point, but it also fits into a broader pattern where selective transparency, or rather lack thereof, has been noted in various political contexts.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And the fact that Rogan, who's no stranger to stirring up controversy on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, is bringing this up, it resonates with his audience. It's a call to scrutinize the narrative, you might say.
Right, and think about it. Rogan's podcast is one of the most popular in the US. It's like having a conversation in a packed stadium where every word has a ripple effect.
Clearly so. Exactly. And with over 18.5 million subscribers on CNN, the video's reach adds another level of scrutiny to these claims.
And the media attention, man, it's amplified by platforms like YouTube, where the data shows millions of views and debates spurred by his commentary.
Yep, it's viral. Thinking about the tech era we're in, it's unprecedented how media narratives can be shaped by such widely accessed discussions. It makes me wonder, though, are we sometimes too quick to jump into partisan angles?
That's a good point. I mean, the whole episode lends itself to a deeper conversation about media responsibility. There's this tension between, on one hand, the need for accountability, and on the other, the risks of influencing public opinion without solid evidence.
Right, indeed. Yeah, and let's not shy away from a bit of critique here. While Rogan's claims are provocative, we should also consider that political discourse often features hyperbole. Do you think he might be exaggerating to push a specific narrative?
I think that although hyperbole is common, the insistence on the Epstein connection, mentioned so many times, does suggest there's more than just rhetoric at play here.
That's a fair assessment. True. And what's interesting is the strategic choice of language. The use of gaslighting itself, which is rooted in psychological abuse, is being ported into the political arena. That's a significant leap from its original context, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, it's a loaded term. When you use a word like that, it elevates the discussion to one about manipulation and, losing touch with facts. It's almost like an appeal to emotional reasoning while sidestepping hard evidence.
Got it, exactly. And then there's the whole controversy around Epstein and how previous administrations handled similar scandals. The Trump administration isn't operating in a vacuum. There's historical context here that fuels the debate.
Right, context is everything. Epstein's connections to powerful individuals make the whole scenario a tangled web. And this blatant refusal to release more info just adds more fuel to that fire.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It really makes you wonder about the interplay between media, politics, and public pressure. Is the administration trying to control the narrative, or are there legitimate legal hindrances that prevent the disclosure of these details?
I think it's a mix, really. On one side, legal concerns are always at the forefront when dealing with sensitive investigations, but on the other, you can't ignore the potential for deliberate obfuscation as a tactic.
That's a solid analysis. And when you mention legal caution, it reminds me of the old argument where government entities sometimes have to weigh national security or ongoing investigations against the public's right to know. It's a tricky balance.
Definitely. It's like trying to walk a tightrope. Too much transparency could compromise a case, but too little transparency risks, being accused of deception.
Yep, it's a delicate dance. Now, looping back to the impact of Rogan's episode, the fact that Epstein is repeatedly brought up forces the audience to revisit unresolved questions from previous investigations. That repetition is both a rhetorical strategy and an investigative commentary.
And it's like, say, you're watching a detective movie where every clue adds up to something bigger. The repeated mention of Epstein is like a persistent hint that something is amiss.
Right on. But then, here's where it gets interesting. Rogan's episode is being debated on platforms like CNN and YouTube, spreading the conversation far beyond his usual audience. It's an intersection of traditional and new media that's reshaping how we digest political controversies.
Exactly. It's a modern day media roller coaster where every viral tweet and YouTube clip can potentially shift public opinion in real time.
Yeah, it shows the power of the digital age. And we can't ignore how this moment feeds into the broader narrative of, say, political accountability, gun control, foreign policy. Well, not those topics exactly, but it's a chapter in a larger story of governmental trust.
Right, it's all interconnected. Trust in government has been eroding, and incidents like this really spotlight the underlying tensions between officials and the citizenry.
Exactly. What's your take on the public reaction? Do you think these kinds of claims end up polarizing people even more?
I do think so. There's a real risk of causing entrenched divisions. When a figure like Rogan uses such charged language, it can, intentionally or not, push people into camps where the focus is more on defending one's political stance than on addressing core issues.
True, that's a good point. Right? And while it's essential to question authority, there's also value in critically assessing claims rather than taking them at face value.
Absolutely. I respect that caution. It's important to always balance skepticism with a search for solid evidence. But, in this case, the repeated emphasis on Epstein keeps the pressure on for further disclosure, which might actually be a positive outcome.
It's a double-edged sword. Exactly. It's almost like Rogan's remarks are acting as a catalyst, a way to push for more transparency, even if they teeter on the edge of sensationalism.
And that's the heart of this debate, isn't it? The interplay between a powerful narrative spun through media and the actual, sometimes slow-moving, wheels of governmental accountability.
Yep. In wrapping up, it seems that this episode is not just about one specific incident. It's a reflection on how we, as a society, handle sensitive information and the mechanisms of control and communication.
Exactly. And by dissecting this exchange, we can see how the media, politics, and public discourse are all intertwined, each influencing the other in increasingly complex ways.
Absolutely. All right, so to sum it up, Rogan's claims, whether fully justified or exaggerated, have sparked a vigorous debate about transparency, accountability, and the power dynamics at play in modern politics.
Precisely. And it's a conversation that's likely to keep evolving as more details come out. Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been quite the enlightening chat.
Yes, indeed.